What's up guys, Peter here from Reviews on Anything, and in this video we're looking at some wireless Bluetooth headphones again. I say again because in earlier videos that I'll link up here, we've looked at similar headphones both from the high and the very low end of the spectrum. Now this sort of sits in the middle, and it's a Chinese brand called Origem. And when they asked if we could review their headphones, it got me thinking, because there used to be a time and a place where everything that came out of China that was not specifically designed for the Western market was straight up garbage. Bad plastics, bad internals, bad everything pretty much. And in many cases actually unsafe and completely unfit for use. So you got a very low price point but a very bad product. Now that time is long gone actually, because the Chinese companies and the Chinese market have really grown up in recent years, leading to a very big step up in quality. And these headphones are actually a very good example of how good Chinese brands have become in producing good electronics, not specifically for the Western market, but also for the domestic market. Now I got them right here in nice red, nice square red, as you can see, and they're remarkably similar to the Jaybird Freedoms that we looked at in one of the other videos. First impressions are really good actually, good quality, good feel in the hand, still nice and light. So it promises to be a pretty good pair of headphones. But we're going to dive in, have a closer look, see what you get in the box, and see what this brand is all about. Alright, so here we are with the box of the headphones. Obviously the headphones are inside, come in this nice piece of packaging. And I say that specifically because, like I said before, the step up in quality has been really big in the past few years. And I think it's nice to show you that that also applies to the packaging. Now these are inexpensive headphones, and usually that means lots of corners have to be cut in all kinds of places, and packaging is one of those places. It's very easy to just put these in a plastic bag or a small cardboard box and send it to you and save money that way. But Origem has actually gone through the trouble of making the unboxing and the packaging experience quite nice. So you get this black box with the headphones drawn on the front, nice magnetic opening, and if you open up, you're presented with the headphones in this sort of soft touch cushion. If you lift that out, you get the accessories. You get a little carry pouch, soft and mesh, which is nice. And you got quite a lot of accessories actually. Here you got some extra ear tips that are in the same color red as the earphones themselves. You get a flat micro USB charging cable, and it is a long cable. Yes, sir. Even with the very expensive Jaybird headphones that we looked at, you got this stupid short cable that's only this long that you really can't do anything with unless you're charging them in your laptop maybe. So nice actually that they've got this right and gave you a long cable. You can also get a whole bag of ear fins and more ear tips. As you can see, like this, with the extra fin, so it stabilizes sort of the whole ear part in the ear shell, in your ear shell, and is for a better fit and more secure fit, mainly for sports activities, running, tennis, whatever, when you wear your headphones. It's nice to have a little extra security. And it comes in a whole bunch of sizes and shapes as well. I'll keep them all out for you here, as you can see. So that's quite nice. It might look like quite a lot of ear tips and ear fins, but I think it's pretty cool that they include all these different options, because obviously everybody's ears are different, so it's nice that you get choice and actually can find your own personal fit. They also put a little card in here. Thanks for choosing Origem. We're happy to know when you're happy. And on the other side there's a sad smiley face that they also want you to tell them when you're not happy. Which is, not strictly necessary, but I think it's quite a nice touch again to include this, because it involves a bit of extra work from their side, but it shows at least that they care about your opinion and that would like to hear how you had what your experience with these headphones were. So I think that's quite nice, and again a sign of a grown-up brand and a grown-up market. And then you get some paperwork, user manual, again in English. Brilliant! Not 75 languages and a whole booklet, or just in Chinese and unable to make sense of what the buttons do. An English manual, perfect. Very well done. Nice experience opening the box, which will make you happy about your purchase right away. Now these are sort of ruby red, quite shiny, but I'm sure you can get them in different colors as well, with the red ear tips, which I think is a nice touch, and the red cord as well, which is a flat cable, quite thin, quite long actually, as you can see. So that'll definitely fit anybody in any situation. Personally, I find them a bit too long. It doesn't have to be, you know, super tight around my neck or anything, but there was quite a bit of extra cable around my neck, which is not necessarily either. So it would have been fine if it was just, you know, this little piece out, for example. But that's a personal touch. You got the two earbuds, obviously, left and right. You got the inline mic here with 3 buttons, volume, up and down, skipping songs, pausing obviously, and also answering and closing phone calls. So, you know, pretty standard stuff. I have to say though, the buttons, I don't know if you can hear it, the buttons are very low quality. I don't really like those. They could have done a better job here with a slightly more upmarket feel. They're, you know, they do click, but they feel quite cheap and a bit sharp around the edges, so that's not very nice. But you know, they're still inexpensive headphones, so it's a small detail, but it's not that nice, and it actually could scratch your neck. Well, it doesn't scratch your neck, but you feel it in your neck when they're hanging. That's really all there is to see here. We got, this one has the micro USB charging port, so you peel open this little flap with your nail, and there is the charging port. So you just plug it in here and you're good to go. Now these headphones feature Bluetooth 4.1, so that's pretty good. They will connect with 2 devices at the same time, so you can have, for example, connect to your computer and to your phone, so you can listen to music but still answer phone calls. Operating range, pretty standard, around 10 meters, let's say in open area, so it depends a bit if there's walls in between. You know, if you put your phone in one room and you're in the other room listening to your headphones and there's like a big wall in between, don't expect any miracles, like you wouldn't with any other Bluetooth device. The battery is 120 milliamp hours, very small, but that allows for about 8 to 10 hours of talk time, same with music playback time, and it has standby time of about 240 hours, so that's quite nice, and it charges fully in less than 2 hours, so that's good too. So that's all the specs out of the way. Now let's focus on what these headphones are like to use. They are very reminiscent of the Jaybird X2 headphones, where all the drivers, all the connectivity, the battery and everything is housed inside the earbuds themselves, which is why they might appear slightly large, because you can imagine that this bit only goes in your ear, and this sort of sits in your ear shell. And it's, you know, if you think about it, it's quite large, especially when you compare it to Jaybird's Freedom super tiny headphones, where they moved all the batteries and antennas and everything to the controller. Personally, I don't really see that as a problem. It's actually quite nice to have the weight of the buds in your ear and not dangling and flapping around here, which makes them, you know, very suitable for sports activities. And actually, it allows for a little fun bit that they magnetically connect to each other. The charging port is something I think is a vulnerable spot over time, because you really have to pry it open with your nails. So I can imagine after months of use that this might wear out slightly and eventually maybe even be completely open. So that is something to, you know, I wouldn't say it's a point of concern, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. Like the Jaybird X2s, they sound pretty good. I wouldn't say they are as good, obviously, because these are still, like I said before, inexpensive headphones. But they do a remarkably good job in delivering a pretty decent bass, a pretty decent sound profile in general. Won't go into too much depth on you know, clarity, mids and highs and so on. But overall it's a pretty decent way to listen to music. But for the size, they deliver a pretty good punch, have a decent bass, good clarity. It doesn't really matter when you're listening to rock music or vocals or classical music. It sort of covers the whole range quite well. And, you know, unless you're a super duper audiophile, I think you'll be just fine with these earbuds. And especially at the price point, I think they're doing a very great job and deliver a pretty good value for what they are. That said, would I recommend them? I don't see any problem with these at all, to be honest. They're, you know, might be from an unknown brand. It's not Samsung or anything. But, you know, for what they are, they're a good pair of earbuds for a reasonable price. so why not? This would be an excellent pair for somebody who just wants something for sports. You can even give this to a kid as sort of the first pair of wireless headphones. And I think overall, you know, besides a few minor missers like the remote control buttons, for example, I think it's a good showcase of what Chinese brands have become over the years. So moving away from the very cheap, very bad stuff into a very well sorted, thought out mainstream product.